still no suspects in the brutal murder of local waitress Lizzie McMullen, authorities have no clues other than cryptic social media posts, leaving many residents to wonder who will be the next victim of John Carver.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another exciting Christmas episode here at Citizen Frame. We're coming up to the tail end of Christmas month. Oh, sad face.
There'll be no more A Castle for Christmases.
Well, that's funny you brought that up, Trevor. We decided, because you had to sit through that experience.
Yeah, well, we had to sit through it for the benefit of the listeners so they didn't have to.
Yes, and so you're welcome, even though it's done very well for us. So thanks to you idiots who listen to it, we might have to do more of those.
No!
But we have got you a little treat. We were going to end with today's Halloween classic / Thanksgiving / Christmas classic, Thanksgiving, but we just got our Video on Demand has just released a new John Woo film called Silent Night. So because we put you through the Hallmark one, we're going to throw a bonus episode in for next week. You're welcome.
Because we're very nice like that.
Exactly. There we go. How do we begin with our boy Eli? Listen, Eli Roth is like Rob Zombie to me.
Yes.
He's done nothing yet that I'm going, yeah. You know, now don't get me wrong. Rob Zombie's House of Thousand Corpses, Devil's Reject are good films, but I'm still waiting for Rob Zombie to just wow me, and because I know there's something there, and I love his music, and I like the guy himself. Eli Roth has done nothing that I've liked. I'm sorry. I know. Please don't turn us off. I know people are going to listen to this. Love Eli Roth. I like the guy. I like his documentary he's doing about horror films. He's good friends with Rob Zombie and Greg Nicotero, all these great filmmakers and FX artists. He's a fanboy first, which I like. But I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of torture porn. I'm not a fan of the stuff he's done. Cabin Fever was overrated. The Hostel films were kind of, ugh. First time you see it, like, ooh. Second time, like, okay,
yeah,
it's over. It worse then.
I went through a bit of, back then whenever he sort of, became a sort of bit of a name. I went through a bit of a sort of, I wouldn't go as far as saying Eli Roth phase, but, I did sort of find Cabin Fever, it was okay. So it was, nothing groundbreaking. Again, like you say, I quite liked him. So I did. I thought he was, he was a fan first and foremost, and he was very much admitted that. I thought Hostel was quite a terrifying concept. Not a bad film. Green Inferno. It's basically a remake of Cannibal Holocaust. His films were just okay, good, but he did, in my opinion, come across as I can be a bit like this, and I certainly was before, but as a bit of a sort of over-enthusiastic fanboy, and it come across in his films sometimes in that it almost felt like he was like a 16-year-old boy trying to shock and impress his mates,
Yeah, and I think that was the problem.
Yeah.
It was more about the shock value than the execution itself, pardon the pun. Mm-hmm. You don't need to throw all this gratuitous violence and sex or graphic and whatever at us.
Yeah.
Throw it at us, that's fine. But scare us too.
I get sort of as well his sort of background in that he's obviously a huge fan of exploitation films of the 70s and 80s and stuff. So I sort of get that as well, But yeah, but I always liked the guy. I liked him as an actor, actually, in Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah, nothing against the guy, but he hasn't proven himself.
As a director.
Yes, as a director. He's a producer too, and no offense, he's like Blumhouse. Blumhouse direct-to-video stuff. Blumhouse put his name on a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And no offense, so did Eli Roth, just to kind of build his empire. And you know what? I kind of get it.
Yeah.
So.
You know who he was mentored by?
Probably Rodriguez or Tarantino, I'm assuming.
Nope. David Lynch.
I don't see that at all.
What it was, he ended up getting a job. He's been working in film and theatre all his life, was runner and sort of, assistant to directors and producers and stuff. And he was doing a bit of acting and stuff. And he ended up getting a job researching a project for David Lynch for several years. I don't know if the project ever sort of came to fruition. It was meant to be a theatre project apparently, but so he became friendly with David Lynch, and I think David Lynch, sort of mentored him at least to a certain extent.
Oh, there you go. Didn't know that, but yeah, it's funny because I don't see any Lynch in his work.
No, definitely not.
They're both night and day.
Yeah.
So Eli Roth did this trailer, as we know, Thanksgiving, from the Grindhouse films. I remember seeing both films back to back.
Yes. As
the Grindhouse experience. It's like 4 hours you're sitting in a theater. And I wasn't a big fan of Death Proof, besides Kurt Russell. And I liked actually Rodriguez's better.
Yes, so did I. I still do.
Yeah, Planet Terror. So, but the Grindhouse, the best part was the theater, the fake trailers.
They were great,
They were, and I know for years they were talking about doing Werewolves of the SS and Thanksgiving. Thanks to the popularity of this, Rob Zombie might be able to get the Werewolves of the SS?
It's Sea Wolves of the SS, or Werewolf Women of the SS.
Something like that. He's even got songs about it.
The Edgar Wright one looks good as well. Don't.
Yeah, that's right. Don't. Don't.
If you're going to watch this movie alone, don't.
So, Eli Roth has just got done wrapping a big budget film. Now, I think there's problems with the production. This is where I was talking about biting off more than you can chew. It's a big blockbuster.
Based on a video game?
Based on the video game Borderlands.
Yes.
Jamie Lee Curtis, Kate Blanchett. I mean, Kevin Hart. Very impressive cast. But he left the project, and they brought on somebody else, a director I know, Tim Story, who did some of the Marvel stuff, to re-edit it and reshoot some stuff.
Right.
So there might be a little problem there.
Yeah.
But good on him, what Eli Roth decided to do. And again, this is just my take. I'm not saying this is fact. But what I think Eli Roth decided to do was, you know what? Let's go back to what I want to do. He loves slasher films.
Yeah.
He hasn't done a slasher film, believe it or not.
Yep.
So why not go back to what you originally probably wanted to do, and right now strike while the iron's hot. Scream is the hottest property out there, and we got finally Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Apparently he's done a bit of children's stuff as well. Like children's sort of like spooky stuff.
Yeah, he did the House of Clocks.
Yes, something like that, yeah.
Something with Jack Black and Helen Mirren.
Yeah. Yeah, like children's fantasy.
Again, at least he's trying different stuff.
Yes.
He's kind of gotten away from the torture porn and slapping his name on anything that, that he put his name on. So it seems like he's being a little pickier and choosier. Maybe working with Borderlands, he doesn't want to work with mainstream Hollywood. Maybe this is why he wanted to go maybe something more grounded.
Back to his roots.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. If that's where... I'll tell you what right now, guys. We've been talking about this for 8 minutes. But I'll tell you what. The reason I'm bringing this all up is because I'll tell you what. He's hit it out of the park. This is what Eli Roth needs to be doing. This is a wonderful, wonderful slasher film.
Well, this is what he's born to do, this type of stuff.
Well, he should have been doing it.
Yeah.
He hasn't. So, but let's jump into it.
Yeah.
All right. We got Patrick Dempsey. We got Rick Hoffman. Those are the go-to, and Gina Gershon. Now, those are kind of the B A-listers.
Yeah.
And the other actors, I don't really know them outside of this film. But I'll say this. The one thing the film gets right is its casting.
Yes.
Because finally, you have a cast. They're all likable, and they all know how to act.
And they're also very much... I know they are sort of stock slasher characters, especially the younger characters. But, whenever you're going to see a slasher film, you want these types of characters. So it's giving people what they want, especially the fans of slashers, And, so yeah, and the acting's fine. I mean, it's not groundbreaking. It's not going to blow you away, but they do their jobs. And they're I love Even.
Yeah, I mean, you'll have. This is a lot of Scream in this.
Yeah, it's old school slasher as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's nod to the classics.
Yes.
Which even when we go into one of my favorite characters what's it Mitch? He's the pothead, the guy who gets one of the guns.
Yes. Oh, he's brilliant. Yeah, the gunrunner guy. Yeah.
He go into his flat.
Yeah.
And it's full of all these posters of films.
Yeah.
Probably all these films that Eli Roth grew up watching.
Oh yeah.
That I thought Krull, I think, is in there.
Yeah.
And Private Resort. All these films that you're like, where the fuck do these posters come from? Usually it's like a big blockbuster film.
The age Eli Roth is now, he could easily have played that character. You know.
He probably is that character.
Well, exactly. It's a self-insert, and he's sort of having a bit of a dig at himself as well, or if it is a self-insert, and that, you know, the younger ones are going, yeah, he's fucking creepy, you know, the fucking creepy guy. And I love that line where the young ones come up to the party, and he starts talking about Black Sabbath, and they go, they're like clueless millennial types, or, you know, Gen Z types, and they're going, who's Black Sabbath? He goes, get the fuck off my porch. You know.
Yeah, he was willing to sell him alcohol and everything.
Yeah.
Or give him the alcohol and everything. But
no, he's sleazy. He's fucking mildly creepy. Well, not even mildly creepy, but he's kind of like likable as well.
Well, this is already been greenlit for a sequel.
Yeah.
So I guarantee you he's back.
Yeah. Oh, why?
Him and his dad.
Yeah. And then the guy says to him whenever he pulls up at the school, he says to him, Scuba says to him, what the fuck are you doing? You know, selling guns to school kids. He goes, I'm not. Get it fucking right. I would never sell guns to school kids. I'm selling alcohol.
Yeah, it's a good character. He's got some of the best lines too.
Yeah,
he's the comic relief.
Yeah.
Because the Scuba and the rest of the gang are more playing it straight.
Well, even is the dick the asshole.
Yeah, you mean Evan?
Even, yeah, Evan, whatever. Potato.
How was it even?
Potato.
Oh my God! Here you go with your names again. Yeah, so I'm a big fan of films that, you know, do the title card late.
Yeah.
And what I mean,
Cold
this works because he's kind of mixed, kind of Scream, because you introduce you to all these different characters, and Gina Gershon is still a get.
Yes.
And
she was in Cocktail.
She's been in a lot of films.
Oh,
why Cocktail? Why'd you bring that?
That's where I remember her from probably the most. She's the sexy girl. I'm not even a fan of Cocktail, but I just remember.
I know, but I just think she just what a random drop.
Yeah, no, she is like the
I would go Bound.
She's a sexy brunette who seduces Tom Cruise in Cocktail with a smug little smile at the time. Serious?
I know she's in that, but it's the one film I wouldn't mention. It's just
I don't even like the film, but yeah.
You might go to for her is Bound, the Wachowski brothers thriller. It's really good with her and Jennifer Tilly. Mm-hmm. Very Coen brothers.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, so the whole I think it's 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. They introduce you this family environment. You know, Sheriff Newton, Amanda, Thomas, Jessica, all these key players. You're having Thanksgiving dinner, and the husband's got to go obviously to Black Friday, which
he owns a store.
Doesn't happen anymore. It's called Right Mart. Obviously, they're playing on Walmart because years ago there was a couple deaths during Black Friday of people getting trampled to death.
Yeah.
And this is not urban legend. This did happen, and Walmart got in very, very big trouble for this. So that's why Black Friday's kind of gone now. That's why Black Friday's a month long now.
Well, yes.
It's kind of why you can do it. Amazon does it all week, all month, and then you can, there's always Black Friday deals that.
I actually think this is a very clever satirical part of the film. Where it's commentary on, how basically how awful people are during these sales and stuff. I mean, you talk about, Walmart and stuff, people, I didn't even know about those people dying and, being trampled to death, but that does not surprise me at all. But over here in the UK, there was, nobody died, but there was similar scenes of like fucking old women getting beat over the head with TVs and stuff, in these like smash and grab sales type thing. And it just shows you the human race at their most despicable, but probably at their most sort of base and honest as well. Pretty awful stuff. So
yeah. I mean, they do that well. You have a lot of key players. And it's one of those films that you watch the beginning. You kind of got to keep an eye on the key players. Yeah. Lonnie, Lizzie, Amy, Manny, Doug, Gabby, Evan.
Yes.
Yulia, Scooby, and Ryan.
Yeah.
Now, Ryan is the douche.
Yes.
Not Evan.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Evan's the one who gets the wee guy to... Are you sure it's not Evan is the one who gets the wee guy to write his homework for him?
Oh, yes. But I thought you were talking about Ryan. Ryan's the douche. He's the one who starts dating Jessica after Bobby disappears.
Oh, no. But, he is a douche, but... No,
we got our douches mixed up.
I meant, yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, there's quite a lot of douches in here, to be fair. But Evan is the one who I liked. He's an asshole, but he's like a likable asshole. He's like almost like a jock type.
Yeah, I know the guy now. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
But the chaos works because the sad thing is it's Eli Roth, so he just over the top of it, right? He actually doesn't. He actually makes it quite simple. Guy gets crushed by the doors. One lady when Gina Gershon gets it. That's a surprise death. You thought she'd be in it longer. She gets scalped pretty much.
With the trolley.
And you see her head gets banged with the trolley. Oh, man. That poor guy gets his throat cut.
Yeah, with a bit of glass on the door.
And did you see, they're all dying to get, pardon the pun, to get those waffle maker.
A waffle iron? What the fuck is a waffle iron?
It's where you put the batter in and you shut it down and it just makes waffles.
So it's like a toasty maker, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So that was the whole point. It's something so petty and stupid.
Yeah.
But the whole point, I loved it though, the chaos.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And what really worked, you saw these little, people, them sneaking in to get in early.
Yeah.
And then they're bragging everyone outside the doors because actually they are the ones who caused this.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're showing off that they're in the store before they are.
And then it's recorded for the internet.
Yeah, and then you got Lizzie, who's really at the front of the door banging on to get in. What's great about that whole setup, it's a really good pot boiler.
Yeah, but...
just like Scream.
Yeah, not only
one.
that, but it's very close to the bone and realistic too, because the human race are pretty awful. Things like this in the real world does show them up to be that, and it's reflected really well in the film.
The film played a lot like, to me, original Scream and then Final Destination.
Yes, there's a bit of that there, yeah.
Quite a bit, I think, but yeah, and it works.
And to be fair, it's a bit of satire. Who would have thought? Eli Roth and satire. Social commentary. But actual serious, proper social commentary. Fair play, but with his tongue and his planted on his cheek as well.
And so during all the mess, and then finally the sheriff raises his gun, fires it, and then it just says Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Just what a wonderful way to introduce a title based on a holiday that's about giving thanks.
Yeah. The irony, the dark irony all round. But again, reflection of the real world.
So we got it 1 year later, and Bobby comes back in the picture. Bobby, horrible when someone. Now Bobby was the decent one.
Yes,
he was the one who was trying to keep the peace, and he was the one trying to help the security guard when his hand gets stamped on.
Yes, he gets his. It's actually a pretty brutal scene. Not as brutal as the scalping or the guy getting his throat cut, but you see his hand, his wrist, twisting right round.
Yeah, and then. So things are still a little more calmer. A lot of people don't think the Right Mart should be open now, but the businessman who owns it, Jessica's father, he's played by, I like to see him, Rick Hoffman. He was great in Suits.
Yeah, he's been in quite a few things. Hostel, he was in.
Yes, that's right. He's the Wright family kind of own this town, I guess you can say. But they're keeping up these creepy masks.
Yeah, John Carver.
These masks are John Carver. And he is, the first mayor of New Plymouth Rock? Is that what it's called? I believe.
Yeah, I thought not so much the first mayor, but he not. But he was one. He was supposed to be one of the original sort of settlers from the Mayflower type thing. The whole Thanksgiving sort of thing.
He's the first governor.
Yeah.
Of the new Plymouth colony. So yeah, you're right. It's probably Plymouth. Yeah, the Plymouth Rock.
Yeah.
Of the pilgrimage.
Yes, he was one of the first pilgrims. Type thing.
But I knew the one flaw I'm gonna have to say with it is I knew right away it was Patrick Dempsey. Wasn't even surprised.
Right, I didn't, but I'm gonna go. But there is a flaw with him later on we'll come to later on.
Yeah, we'll talk about him getting to point A to point B and point C.
Magical changing of clothes.
Yeah, and the only reason I knew it was him, he was built. His build.
Yeah, well, he is quite.
He's the tiniest of the group.
Yeah.
Even over the teenagers.
But apparently Eli Roth used different actors in The Mask. So it's not him in The Mask.
Well, that's fine. Probably used stunt doubles or something.
Yeah.
Or they might do that because... Yeah, they might do that too because if something leaks...
Yeah, well, that's what it was.
They can change it.
Yeah, they didn't want to... Even the cast to know who the killer was, I think. But yeah, so we used different, stunt doubles.
By the way, is this a spoiler film?
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, if you're going to listen to a movie review podcast like this, you're going to have to expect spoilers,
Yeah. Yeah, so. It's on you listeners.
Yeah, not all.
So they all start receiving text messages, supposedly from the killer, and each person involved had some kind of wrongdoing in the chaos that happened.
Yes, some kind of involvement.
Yeah,
they're being tagged. I think it's like Instagram, of like this
TikTok or something like that.
Yeah, this dinner table scene.
Let's talk about Lizzie's death. This is so fun. She's the obnoxious
she
one
deserved
with that thick Boston accent.
Yeah,
and she's just fucking obnoxious.
Yeah, but even during the riot, in the right mark, she was the one who killed Gina. So she was.
Yeah, she hit her with the cart.
Well, not only that, but then the wheel of the trolley was the one that got caught and ripped her and her head off. Scalped her.
Yeah,
yeah.
But her death. I mean, Eli Roth can shoot good action well. Chase.
I also like
well.
the dark humor that he uses. Like the part where basically the killer, basically sticks her face to he freezes it, it's sort of freeze stuck to the refrigerator, and then whenever she tries to phone for help, she can't get her phone on because it's facial recognition and it doesn't recognize her face because half her face is ripped off.
Yeah, I mean, there's even before that, before she's chased, he also has that element of stalking.
Yeah,
kind of like what Carpenter did with Michael Myers. There's a nice shot when she's in the diner closing up. In the very background, very faint, you can see John Carver's face through the window of the kitchen.
Yes.
The kitchen door.
There's also a big homage before this with Jessica and all when they're in that diner. With it's a homage to Michael Myers. Seeing glimpsing at Michael Myers, where Jess looks out the window and sees the glimpse of the guy in the John Carver mask. Yeah,
that is. Yep, and he does that quite a bit, and you know exactly what Eli Roth was doing there. He's nodding the hat. Like I said earlier, this is a film he should have kind of done a long time ago because this is definitely his strength.
Yes.
I would like to see his take on a Halloween film. Actually, you never know what he can do.
More so than Rob Zombie's.
Oh, anything more than Rob Zombie's.
Yeah.
Jesus. But Bobby's back, and you know what? What I like about they talk like teenagers.
Oh, I was just going to say that.
They don't. It's not using. They're not obnoxiously using TikTok every 10 seconds.
Yeah.
They're not. Unless they're killers coming, texting them.
They feel like real people.
They feel like teens I grew up with.
Yeah.
When I was younger. So,
and you also did you notice there's a couple of times that Eli Roth within the film has a pop at sort of modern day sort of virtue signaling and TikToker types with the whatever they're giving the speeches in the school before he even gets caught out for bullshitting with his homework. whenever the guy before him has to goes,
Oh, I have that in my notes. That's the best.
Chad. Yeah.
He's such a he's millennial.
Yeah, and he pretends to cry and all this here. Yeah. It's virtue signaling, which is so fucking widespread these days,
And he wipes his tears with his fucking six-pack.
Yeah.
With his shirt, and all the girls are like, oh, he's like, I know, I'm so sensitive.
Chad, and
I'm like,
even that's
fuck off.
That's even the teachers like rolling their eyes. Oh, very moving, rolling their eyes. But that's Eli Roth having a dig,
at these spoiled, fucking brats that are sadly going to run the world someday.
Well, that's Eli Roth having a pop at them, but there's also another scene. Actually, the scene just before the woman in the diner's death. They're talking about Jess's new boyfriend, and they're saying things like, "Oh, I don't like him. He's too PC." All this here. And trust me, Eli Roth is not fucking PC. Yes, this is sort of maybe toned down from his previous sort of torture, wanking over torture porn stuff. But he's definitely not PC.
Yeah, because once he said that, we don't like your boyfriend. He's a dork, and he is a dork.
Yeah.
Ryan.
He reminded me of Ross from Friends, who fucking couldn't stand.
He shows up with 50-yard line tickets to the Steelers game, and all of a sudden they're best friends.
That's it. Yeah.
But no, we got Manny, the security guard, who pretty much ran away from the situation at hand.
Yeah.
But he gets pretty quick death, but it's nice when he gets stabbed with the carver.
Again, more
in the stomach,
humor,
and then beheads him.
The killer then stops as he's leaving and feeds a cat.
I do. I like that. I have that in my notes. That it goes to show you that, okay, this guy's only targeting the people he needs to target.
Yeah.
He's not going to... that kind of showed that.
He's a bastard, but he's not a complete bastard.
Well, it showed he's going after people who deserve it. And quite frankly, he's not wrong. Yeah.
He'll cut your head off and sort of, rip your skin off and stuff, but he'll feed a cat at the same time, so...
Hey, I love cats.
Yeah. Well, I prefer the cat, certainly to some of these obnoxious people that he's killing.
So the famous shot in the trailer Thanksgiving is the cheerleader bouncing up and down.
Yes.
He kind of gears away from what you think's supposed to happen.
Well, he's toned it down.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. You didn't need to see it, and
did you?
It's awkward. Now the funny story to it. So I love how he kills the doofus right away. By breaking his neck.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But as she's jumping up and down, I the first time I saw this, I think I saw this with you.
Yes.
I didn't watch it. I couldn't. I just couldn't because we know what the outcome was in the trailer.
Yeah, the fake trailer from 2006.
Yeah, but for the second time that you watch it, you see that it lands on her foot.
Yes.
The knife, and then she bounces off that foot, then hits her stomach, then back and stomach.
Yeah.
Obviously, in the original one,
she doesn't do the splits. Legs. Yeah. Now, did you hear what Eli Roth said? Because there are quite a lot of sort of story changes and stuff to this from the story of the original trailer, and I love the 2006 trailer, the fake trailer. But did you hear what he said about the changes to this feature version of it? He said that here it was. Well, he's thought about it, and the way he sees it is that the 2006 fake trailer one, he thinks of it as one that was released in the version that was released in 1980, but it was so offensive that the studio demanded that all the prints be destroyed, all the scripts be burnt, and the director has now went into hiding. He's now missing, and this version, the feature version, is the 2023 reboot version.
What? That's crazy.
Yep. So that's what he's basically saying, that the fake trailer version is, what do you call it, is like some sort of legendary, now sort of destroyed, no prints available film from 1980 or something, and that totally works for me. I like that sort of in-joke story.
Urban legend.
Yeah, exactly. Some sort of fabled film,
Now, the rest of the film is pretty much going after the people that are responsible. Now, he's not killing everybody.
Yes.
He's going to leave people alive, and they got to say what they're thankful for Thanksgiving.
For the dinner party.
For the dinner party. But the other people he's killing, he's putting certain body parts as their, as them being there.
Yes.
Lizzie's half body, and so forth and so forth, and Manny's head.
Yeah.
It's very reminds me of and I'm sure you got this from Happy Birthday to Me. It's a movie that came out in 81, 82,
Nope.
where all the birthday guests were all there, but they're all dead, and they all had their whatever dedicated wound. Good little movie, guys. Check it out. Happy Birthday to Me. But yeah, so you have these clusters of killings, and what's great about it, it's a good slasher deaths. He's not like Zombie, and I thought this is where he'd go, where he doesn't stop.
Yeah.
And it's just like, dude, calm down. But he does. You get your gore, but he doesn't over the top it. I loved the parade scene.
The parade scene, along with the opening scene, and the Walmart or whatever you call it, Right Mart, or the parade scene was great. Yeah, loved it.
The parade scene, they're looking for all the John Carvers. This is a lot like happened. I Know What You Did Last Summer. And they're on the float trying to look, and you obviously see all these John Carvers running around.
Yeah.
But this poor bastard who's in a turkey suit, and he's like the most lovable guy. He's quiet. He's like, la, la, la. He's like, hey, happy Thanksgiving. And all of a sudden, the clown comes out and cuts his head off.
And the clown mask is really creepy. I mean, obviously, creepy clowns, are a trope in themselves, and it's played out, but it's just because you see all these people, the John Carver mask and stuff, you're not really expecting a killer clown mask. And like you say, it's back to the dark humor. This really nice guy, sort of dancing about like a dickhead in a turkey suit, and it's just fucking off with your head with an axe.
And he had nothing to do with the killings.
I know, but it was more a practical thing to get at Jess and her dad and stepmom.
He needed the distraction. So then the smoke bomb goes off, and the poor bastard driving the float loses his way, and he gets his head pretty much embedded in a pole. And the funny part is you can't stop laughing. His children are on the passenger side, and his blood is flying all over him. Yeah. And they're like, Daddy's dead.
All like certain sections of Hostel and stuff, this never feels nasty. It's tongue in cheek, it's funny, it's satirical, it's almost like Eli Roth has matured as a director, and maybe I might say, I'm not exactly the most mature person in the world, but it never feels nasty to me.
The one scene I thought was stupid, and is Kathleen's, and the reason I say that is because he had to keep it in, because in Thanksgiving, he actually has a human body in the middle of the table. Yeah. So he had to keep true to the trailer, and I understand why he wanted to keep it in. I just think it's kind of over the top.
You mean whatever she's cooked in the oven?
Yeah.
It's really fucking disturbing.
But I will. Yes, it's done well. Yeah. Like her Kathleen, the most unlikable character, because she's the one who hid the security video. That's why she gets the worst death.
But it doesn't linger too long on it.
But her, you're right, it doesn't. But her chasing before that was quite good. She was quite clever and trying to hide. She almost got away.
Yeah.
So that's the talented one I'm talking about, Eli Roth. And no, it's well executed, well shot. He doesn't linger on it. I just thought it was kind of over the top.
I thought it was very effective, and it did work for me. And it sort of it was really uncomfortable and disturbing. Just thinking, putting yourself in her shoes in a fucking oven. This is going to sound a bit random, but I used to work for an aircraft manufacturer, and we used to lay up these parts of aircraft parts, and once we'd laid them up, we used to have to bring them out the back and put them into what were essentially these giant walk-in ovens of sort of really sort of extreme temperatures. I used to put the stuff in there and then walk out again, and I used to always, and then lock the door. I used to always think to myself, and it fucking terrified me, the thought of it. Imagine if you accidentally locked someone in there, or you got accidentally locked in there yourself, with the parts. And this is what this scene reminded me of.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, it works. I just thought it was over the top for considering what this man can be capable of, I guess.
Yeah.
I can see Leatherface doing this, but the average Joe, who's the killer. But I guess I enjoy it.
It's effective, very effective. I found.
All right, there you go. Now, when Scuba and Jessica escape, they're untying the ropes when he's trying to get everyone to confess.
Well, the dinner party seems pretty cool as well. You know, where
that's what I'm talking about. Let me.
Yeah.
So when they're talking to him, and you have to give thanks. He bashes Evan's head in.
The dad throws up, vomits.
Yeah. How does they escape? What was that they had? Was that a knife?
No, that was the ring that the fucking, that asshole gun runner gives him.
That's the knife ring?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't think they took it.
No, she did. He gives her it for luck. That's what it is. Now, it's a bit of...
okay.
So, technically, asshole gun runner and fucking, alcohol seller to underage kids guy saves the day.
Okay. Yeah, he'll be back. There's no way because he's funny.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he saves the day, after the rest of them have been... There's quite a lot going on in this film. This is not a, there's quite, the scene of the sort of girl with the German father and stuff,
Yeah, Julia.
Yeah, Julia.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was a good one. Because what I liked about that death was not that because it was gory.
Yeah.
It's actually sold quite well the way it's shot in Scuba's line, and what I liked about
on
it
the
was
phone?
no. So there's a big chase, blah blah. They're trying to get to Julia. They're almost there. And then he just chucks her, and you never see it. It's never, how those movies, they'll show you a spike in the wall,
yes,
and then they'll cut away.
Yeah.
You never knew there was a fucking bandsaw in there.
Yeah.
So when he chucks her on top of that, I was like, whoa, because you didn't know it was in the room.
Yeah, that's it.
It wasn't a cheat. It was just, there you go.
Yeah. And then it's very well played by the other actors as well.
Well, that's what I want to talk about, because Scuba then, the body, he tries to grab the body off the bandsaw.
Yes.
And he looks down at her and he goes, "What can I do?" There's nothing he can do, and that's a good little line.
He can't. Yeah. Oh no, and it's the way it's played by the guy who plays Scuba as well. He's like, well, I want to patch her back up together again. I can't. She's dead.
Yeah, and he sells the line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's well done. So the whole twist that it is Patrick Dempsey,
Yes.
Dr. McDreamy. From Grey's Anatomy. I think that's what it was called.
And Scream 3, he's in, of course.
Yeah, we might be back for the new one. So, the reason he went over the top was, yes, Amanda, he was having an affair with Amanda.
She was pregnant.
But she was also pregnant with his kid. And that's why he kind of loses it. Mm-hmm. So, again, the chase scene is effective. It's not over the top and silly. Jessica's very good in the scene. But
she's a good final girl, to be fair.
Yeah, she's cute too.
Yeah.
That helps. At the end, and then obviously the place blows up and we don't know. We never found
But
a body.
before this, there is a big thing that did stick out like a sore thumb for me. The cheat of, where you think it's the boyfriend. But the cop's being injured.
Stupid. I didn't get that.
How
Where
did
was
he
he
change?
from?
Well, I mean, he was fucking John Carver. How did he actually, change so quickly to back into his police uniform and then back again into the John Carver thing? No, we didn't go back into John Carver, but it's a bit of a cheat.
It's a bit of a cheat, but they could be a sequel and there could be an answer to that. You never know.
Yeah, well.
But you're right. It didn't make any sense. And then you see Bobby staggering in. Obviously, it's like perfectly timed.
How did Bobby even get changed? Or, how did he change Bobby? It's all a bit too convenient.
He drugged him. And
then took his clothes off and put new clothes on him just for the sake of a red herring?
No, he just has to put that pilgrim thing on.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah. But you can say the same thing about Screams. Well, at least Scream gave you two of them.
Yeah, well, the Scream's only a cloak. This is quite a sort of, well, I wouldn't say elaborate costume, but more elaborate,
And at the end, Jessica's still with Ryan. Why the fuck is she still with Ryan?
Yeah, well, if there is a sequel, I think they'll, yeah.
No, there is.
Ryan did annoy me.
He says he's working.
Ryan did annoy me,
Ryan was a douche.
Yeah.
And then it ends with that classic jump scare.
Yeah.
But, Eli Roth said he announced it on his website. Mm-hmm. We're at the sequel now. So
yeah. Now, I would like him to sort of go along down the route of what was supposed to be the storyline of the 2006 fake trailer, which was apparently something fucking insane. Obviously a huge take on Halloween, but it was something like a young boy's mother makes him something like kills a turkey or something that he liked, or she makes a turkey that he doesn't like or something, but he loses it, kills his mother, ends up in a mental asylum for like all his fucking life until he escapes on Thanksgiving. And so maybe they'll get down that route. Who knows?
They kind of did that with My Bloody Valentine.
Yeah.
But yeah, you never know what's due next. I hope it's this clever and hope he takes his time. So I don't know if this is sitting in the wings for a while. It's definitely modernized to today's audience than it would have been if it came out 10 years ago. So we'll see. You did a nice job. I'm looking forward to the sequel. I like my slasher films. It's tough to fuck them up. Yeah. But yeah, he good acting, good editing, great action sequences, good gore, good characters, well rounded. It's seriously, it could be the new Scream if he keeps
nowhere near as good as Scream, but I would say that it's very solid, and it's a slasher film. It does exactly what you expect from a slasher film and more. You know what I mean? Because there's a satire in there. It's clever, and it's does all the gore and the sort of the chase scenes and all are well executed, pun intended. And I mean it's a solid modern slasher. And who thought we would get a film like this still in today's world, that wasn't sort of desensitized and toned down. Yes, now it is a bit toned down for Eli Roth, but yeah, in saying that, fucking, Texas Chainsaw Massacre's toned down compared to Eli Roth. But, no, I mean, you know what? When I saw this in the cinema, I was just so happy and relieved to be actually watching an adult horror film, a modern day adult horror film, because so much of the horror films made today, especially by Blumhouse, are targeted at the young adult teenage market.
Well, you do with Megan and stuff like that, but all fairness to Blumhouse, I mean, he did give us the Halloween reboots, and then you also have the Screams.
I'm not talking about all this stuff, but
I know, but there's stuff out there that has always been. I'm just shocked that we got this from Eli Roth. Usually, I won't see his stuff. I just won't do it.
Yeah.
But the only reason I went to see this because it's a slasher film. You can't really fuck those up. So I'll go check it out. And I was like, fuck, damn.
No credit where credit's due.
Yep, exactly. All right, guys, thanks a lot we're going to be wrapping up Christmas month. Sad face.
Yes.
But because, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, because you had to sit through the Hallmark one. Hey, Trey's sitting through fucking watching that 3 times. You lucky bastards. We're going to give you the new Joel Kinnaman. John Woo is back in the U.S. It's after 20-year absence to direct Silent Night. And this film has a twist. And we will discuss it next time. Guys, give us a shout at CitizenFrame_podcast on Instagram and, of course, on Facebook. You guys take care of yourselves. You have a stellar, stellar Christmas. And then it's next to Halloween.
Yeah, not long now.
All right, guys, have a good one.